Test, test, 1, 2. Can everyone hear me okay? Yes? Can you move us like that?
We love you, Merlin!
How are we all doing? Excited? Are you ready for Skeletor? Yes! Are we ready for Tobias? Brilliant. Well, let's bring him out, I think. Let's not waste any more time. Ladies and gentlemen, the mastermind of Ghost, Mr. Tobias Forge.
It's a little warmer here than I thought.
It is toasty, isn't it? How you doing? How's your week been?
I'm well, thanks. Thank you. How was yours?
Good, thank you. Not bad. 2 weeks into the show, into the tour now, sorry. How's it all kind of going for you so far? How are you feeling about how the shows have gone?
Really confident. But it's always a thing in the beginning of a tour because you have to have a lot of people working in tandem to make it work. I'm just gonna adjust this. It's literally 100-something people that needs to work together, and as a creator, coming up with all these things that doesn't necessarily offer like a very practical solution. You have people coming in like that wasn't working, and it's like that's a big thing because then you have to figure out a way to do it. So starting a tour is a lot about stuff like that.
Yeah, and now the kind of album is dawning as well. How do you kind of feel when it gets to this stage of the album cycle? People are about to hear what you've been working on all this time. You're excited? Are you nervous? Are you relieved to finally get it out into the world? How do you kind of feel when it comes to the big lead up to the release?
Depending on how it's received, of course. You feel relieved. Relief is the word, I believe. I don't know how to tell you what else to say. Okay, good. I feel good about it. I feel like $1 million.
Do you pay much attention to sort of what the fan reaction is to when you put music out? Like, have you paid attention to the reactions to Satanized and Lacrima so far?
I have. I mean, of course you want a...
We love it. Do you like it?
Thank you. That's what you're saying to everyone. No, but of course you wanna gauge a somewhat of a consensus, like, is it good? Like, how did it?
Spoiler, it is good.
So far. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
How much of a kind of indicator of the rest of the record would you say these 2 singles are so far? Are they a good idea of what to expect broadly, or?
This is hard for me to estimate or to really, because I always consider all the songs to be different songs and they're supposed to work together, but the recipe for a Ghost album is that there are songs on there that might, out of context, sound different. And
you need a big single. You need big singles as well.
Yeah, of course. When you're going through the motion, like going through the process of making a record, there will always be a part of you as a songwriter, as a creator, as an artist, that will put in some effort into trying to figure out what is a single, how can we somehow make this bit work in a singular presentation. Whereas there are some songs on each record that I know already that, like, this is never going to be a single. I don't have to worry about
YouTube comments.
But not YouTube comments, because you want each song to have like a recipient. You want each song to have a meaning. Otherwise, you don't have to put it on the record. If I don't find a meaning in a song, I won't have it on there. So it's but you always have a professional somewhere inside who will try to differentiate what's a single track and what's an album track. but that might reflect on which songs we're playing live.
Yeah, of course. And it's also not always about new music. A new Ghost album means a new cast of characters, a new lead man. When we spoke for Metal Hammer a few weeks ago, I asked you about Papa the Fifth Perpetua and what we can expect from him. And you said something really interesting. You said, I can't really get my head around exactly what he is as a character fully until he's at one with the people. And so now we're a couple of shows in. Papa's had a chance to mix with the people a bit more. Can you tell us a bit more about him and how he's becoming fleshed out as a character?
Not really.
Moving on.
And I'm not even trying to be dismissive or
No,
funny.
no.
I'm just saying that I can't really. No, I don't.
We're not there yet.
Yeah.
I'm hearing
You're
sassy,
asking
I'm
the
hearing
wrong
wonderful.
person. Then. You should have the mic. No, but
Well-
you're better at explaining that. So there you have the answer then.
Sassy and wonderful, I like it. Well, we are kind of.
He's a cunt.
There are children here. Good, yeah,
Oh,
good shout.
he's a count. She said he's a count.
It's on Sesame Street. We are actually going to give the fans the microphone in a way because we got some fan questions sent in. So thank you to everyone that sent them in. We couldn't ask them all, but we got a good little selection of questions here for you. And the first one we've got is from Dylan. I love this question. It says, which horror movie had the most profound impact on the music and vibe of Ghost?
Ghost in Total.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this one.
Oh,
I don't know what it's called. I don't know.
What is it about?
I don't really know.
Is there a monster in?
I think.
It was Nosferatu you saw on the DVD at the front. Yeah, Nosferatu.
Oh, Nosferatu.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it a new one? Or is it the old one? Do you know?
It's the
Oh, the old one.
New one just as good.
If you have ghosts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one.
That's true. It's Nosferatu. If that has been the most important film for the band, I don't know. I think that film has had an importance for the entire genre of goth, or I guess whatever we're doing. Horror, goth, like that aesthetic.
Not Shud then. Not Shud then.
Shud, no. That was, however, one of my the first ever horror film that I remember seeing. Shud and Funhouse. Shud is real shite. Yeah. No, it is horrible. I mean, I saw it later in life, and I was just like, I can't believe that I saw this. But yeah, and another one was I don't know if it was called Rats, but it had a front. I remember the films from the front covers, and back then this was like early '80s, so it was like big, VHS, but yeah, the ones that would, but the one that was soft shells.
Oh, yeah, I know that, yeah.
And this one film, it was shot Funhouse, and then was this one film with on a tree branch, there was a woman like laying down like that, and there was a big rat sitting on top of it. Anybody?
Yeah,
Or
James Herbert's Rats.
that's it. There you go. So that was one. But then I think that all these sort of C movies aside, the films that it really has had an impact on me is a lot of the big names that that everybody's seen, like the mainstream horror that is like borderlining not really in the horror section. I'm talking about like Jaws, Alien, like the big ones, Shining, yeah. I think that those are the ones that have made a more of a bigger, Jaws. That exactly. And then the admiration for the film genre horror isn't necessarily driven by the same prerequisites as seeing like a really, really, really well crafted film, because unfortunately, a lot of horror is simply not very well crafted. But they might have other qualities that makes them equally entertaining. So it's always hard to say like which ones are the best. Yeah, Dracula, you know, Jaws. Those are filmed our best. I
agree.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I've made my opinion quite clear that one thing that I really don't like about the new films is the non-stop craving that I think a lot of the producers seem to think that all people want are just jump scares. And if you look at all the films that I mentioned, they have very few jump scares. So there seems to be this disconnect between common, I'm not saying common knowledge, but common taste in general. What I mean, if you just go on Rotten Tomatoes and you look like which films are deemed as like the classicals, and somehow that fact never comes back to their office because they're still like, oh, you like jump scares? No, we like great, well-crafted films. And even
what's your favorite horror movie at the moment?
Favorite horror movie at the moment? Right now I've been sort of down. This is a Swedish thing, so it's like, bear with me on this one, but there is a series, but early 80s there was this a VHS series that came out, was called Video Invest.
Okay.
A lot of the early 70s, late 70s, early 80s classics like Beyond and City of the Living Dead and Toolbox Murders and all that stuff. So I've just had a little period where I've sort of like rewatched a lot of those. Some of them are absolutely awful, but they're cool, and a lot of them have great music, and I love VHS, and they have all that sort of soft covers, and they are legendary because Video Invest was one of the first companies in Sweden that produced those films for VHS hire rentals. And because they came out, there was this big debate, I think it was in 1982, when we essentially we had like a satanic panic, like video violence sort of debate in Sweden. Yeah, I think it was very common. Right, and that happened in Sweden, so all of a sudden, like, all those films were just like struck out of, you couldn't rent them anywhere, and so as a collector, of course, these are made even more classical because of that. But that was like a great cut through, trashy, sleazy horror.
Some of them are the best now, that's usually.
What?
Some of them are the best when they're trashy sometimes.
Yeah. But they had a few, the Fulci's there, and then you had some of the classics there. So it's, but that's something that I've been just raving about at the moment. Yeah.
Man knows his stuff. Sylvia asks, did you ever consider the fact that Ghost one day would get to the size and scale where you could headline Madison Square Garden? That is a hell of an achievement. One of the world's greatest arenas.
We haven't done it yet.
Okay, if everything goes well for the next few weeks.
Right. I don't know. I mean, if ever since, because I've always been, but I was a very big Rolling Stones fan when I was a kid. And just because Rolling Stones in the 80s, they were one of the few bands that were big enough to have several films about them. And of course, in the 80s, you couldn't really, there was nowhere near the amount of documentary material around. Rolling Stones was one of the few that you could sort of like buy several films. You had Give Me Shelter, what else was there? Yeah, the new one at the time that I got when it was brand new was 20 times times 5, which was like the big, like, they had existed in 25 years and they were doing this big comeback, and it felt like that was the end because you cannot possibly get older, which is crazy. But I was a huge fan, and that was big triumphant return, and because they were playing this huge stadium tour that was like, any of you seen Rammstein the last couple of years? Imagine that, but it's like twice as big. It was like, but the same concept, like big industrial, the hugest stage you could ever imagine. So look it up. Steel Wheels Tour of America 1989, and Urban Jungle was the one in Europe 1990. So just because I was such a big Rolling Stones fan, and one of my favorite records that I've always loved with them was Get Your Yeah-Yeahs Out. And which was in 1969. Yeah, you're fine. It's from 1969, and it was recorded at Madison Square Garden. So I knew about it from there. So I was always hoping to one day being able to play it. But we still haven't done it yet. So
Touch wood. Touch wood.
yeah, well, thank you. Thanks.
It'll be amazing, I'm sure. Loz asks, what's your favourite British food that you've tried? Assuming you've tried some.
I have. I actually do enjoy shepherd's pie. Thanks.
Biggest cheer of the night for shepherd's pie.
Thank you. No, I do enjoy Sunday roast. You know, that's fish and chips. Thanks.
That's how he knows his stuff. And you're an honorary Brit now.
Poppadoms. 100 pints of beer. No.
Yeah, that is English.
Yeah, but anything tastes better than surströmming, so there we go.
That is true.
You're getting a lot of sass from the crowd today.
No, just from me.
Oh, okay. Amy asks, did it feel like a big step to have a kind of half mask and sort of have a whole different way of, I guess, projecting a character? Did that feel intimidating, scary at all?
Yes.
Next question.
It's a completely different thing, and it's a game changer for me. Let's put it that way.
It's nice to
You
see
can
you
really,
smile.
Watching you emote at Manchester was incredible. Yeah.
Oh, we have some
I'm
people that
glad
already
you
seen
dig
the
it,
show.
because I'm going to be very honest with you and say that let's say that if I was refused to change, I wouldn't have never stood on the stage again. That's just how bad it was. So, yes, I am suffering from claustrophobia, and it got increasingly worse.
Yeah. I think
So
there's a general consensus. We wanted that for you. We wanted you to be comfortable.
no, and I appreciate that,
What you
and
needed to do in order to give that to us. Yeah. So thank
well,
you. Thank you.
well, thank you for understanding, because
I think it's safe to say that in your corner.
yeah, well, I appreciate that because it was huge, immense difference.
Amazing. Emily asks, is there anything that you hope fans will take away from this new album? And is there a particular song or moment on the tour that you're excited to share? Cheating, there's two questions in one.
Yeah, what was the first one?
Is there anything you hope fans will take away in particular from this record, from Skeletor?
Yeah, well, yeah. No, I think one of the main themes with this record, besides that it's introspective, is about right now there's this overwhelming concern amongst people in general, regardless. It's the crazy thing, it's like regardless of where you're standing politically, there's this idea that the world is sort of ending, and where you think that if you're on the other side, whatever that is, you'd be thinking that the world just started, but that's not true, because they also think that the world is ending. And I'm not gonna push like an us and them agenda, because at the end of the day we're one, but the idea of us and them all thinking that just a bunch of 70-year-olds. That our lives will just exist. This world would just exist as long as they are alive, because that's what they think. That's what they want everybody to believe. And that is simply not true. That is not truth. And I think it's important that logically, within 5 years, 10 years, all of what we know now being this apocalyptic time with everything that's going on, it's going to be over. And we will have to prepare ourselves to not face annihilation. And I think that now a lot of decisions, a lot of emotional sentiments, and there are a lot of moves made that somehow indicates that there's no repercussion. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very linear way of thinking, non-karmic. It's not circular. But the world is singular, and that's a lot of the topics on the record is about the idea of seasonal. Dark is the season. Maybe reference to Benediction the band, for you, those of you who know. But dark is the season, meaning like the season is now dark, but obviously seasons change, and I think that at the end of the day, that's the most important message of the record. Nothing is ever static. There's never been a time in the history of this planet where time actually stands still. So no dictator, no empire, nothing lasts forever. So, and I think that we can take comfort in that. That's a good thing.
Absolutely. We've got a few more questions here, so I'm going to try and get as many as I can. Sal has asked, this is a classic, who would you like to portray you in a biopic about your life?
Tom Hardy.
Do you know that? Oh, please. Who do you think?
I think it might be Judith.
Oh, Judith should do it.
Yeah.
Oh, betrayed.
Her earrings, she's got right way across them,
Oh, we've got theories going on here.
and at the skirting, she puts her cross on the wrong way. So I think she's a part of the church that they pray to God about and not Satan.
You're very observant in putting the cross in the wrong way. I love that. All right. Big applause to you. What's your name? What is your name?
Emmett.
Emmett. Give it up for Emmett.
I think we know who's going to be writing the biopic.
Yes.
That's my point.
There you go.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. Yeah. Well,
Any complaints?
no.
Brad Pitt, Tom Hardy. If anyone's got their numbers, give them a call. See if they're up for it.
Yeah.
We'll go for it. Alana says, Ghost are a highly collectible band, i.e. your merch game is strong. Alana's wondering, what stuff do you like to collect? And out of your collection, what would you say is your most prized possession? Are you a collector?
I am. Yeah. I mean, I collect records, fanzines, demo tapes, posters, like a little bit of t-shirts, yes. And, yeah, a little bit of everything. Most prized possession. I mean, I have a lot of cool things, but the ones that are... this is why I'm so attached to, like, old... I mean, this is not technically a demo shirt, but this is like an old... This is a record. This is a record from 1989. Came out in 90. This is printed for their 1993 tour. But because this is a band called Merciless, they were just a kind of a small. They had an underground following, but they were like a local Swedish band. So it's a very, you can count their product like on a few hands. And I have a lot of favorite bands like that, where it's like there exists just one demo tape. There's like this second demo tape, and then there's one demo shirt, and all of it is like in 100 copies or something, 50 copies, 100 copies. So it's like very hard to get. And then there are those sort of impossible, you will never find it sort of things. So a story from my hometown is that, so my older brother, he was born in 1968. So when I was a kid, he was a big Sex Pistols fan, and a lot of his friends were also like punks and obviously a fan of Sex Pistols and everything that was punk. Since they were born in 1967, 68, when Sex Pistols were in Linköping in 1978, none of them were punks. So if you wanted to talk to anyone who had been at that show, you had to go to people that were born in the 50s, basically, because no one was 18 and could see them. Even though they packed in, but it was a place this big and it was a lot of people like that. But most of the people that were there just saw this weird British band. So, because they were outrageous and they were new, and they were, of course, creating waves all over the world. But people in general, there were so few people that went to that show, because it was a small club show, and it was advertised with like just printed material that rained away, because that's what happens to concert posters. Not nowadays when you have like thousands of them everywhere, but small shows like that. And I just happened to stumble upon one, like from actually a UK collector. And he was like, "You like Sex Pistols?" Like, yeah, but mostly then it's usually like a lot of the printed material that they went to stores, and here in the UK, obviously Sex Pistols was a big, massive band. So there's a lot of commercial, like old posters and stuff that are really cool. But I have a little bit cut-off date. I cut off, like, I can't collect everything with a band because it becomes too big and you don't really have the real estate.
I think they get it.
Thanks. Well, no. No, but and I'm also talking about the stuff that, that happens without sort of, it's not even merchandise. We're talking about just printed matter. And as a fan, obviously, you know how you want to collect each and every little thing. And I'm exactly like that, myself. So anyway, it was this UK guy. It was just like, "You like Sex Pistols?" Yeah. I just happen to have one. I think it's local from your country, and it doesn't say Linköping or anything. It just says the club. And he had one original, and that's impossible. You cannot find one. So that is probably one of my most prized possessions. Sex Pistols at Orphy in Linköping, 1978. And a King Diamond one from his first show he'd ever did, like around Christmas, 1985. Really cool. I got the Cliff Burton last show in Stockholm, Solnahallen. So, yeah, stuff like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Orla asks, if you were stuck on a desert island and can only bring one album and one book with you, what would they be? We do only have a few minutes.
Good. Yeah. Say what? What was that?
Everyone's going to buy that book straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it a good one. God, I actually don't know. It's what would give me the most pleasure. Probably something with pictures in it. And I'm not joking. Like it's. Bill Wyman did it. Like one of the first real book that I read that was like thick. Was, and that had a few pictures, but that where I actually sort of plowed through the whole text. Was Bill Wyman's biography that came out in also around 90, something like that. And then later he made a picture it's more of a collagey sort of going through all the Stones.
Like a coffee table book, that kind of thing. The
Yes.
big ones, yeah.
You might, I don't know if they do secondhand stuff here, but it's I think it's called Rolling with the Stones or something like that. That is absolutely like one of my favorite. I love that because it's just like I'm still such a fan of Rolling Stones, and you get that visual, and because Stones is so much more than I love the music obviously, but it's also the how they looked and what they were, and it was just this amazing fucking band.
Ghost coffee table book one.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, we're working on it. If we're gonna do one more item, that's gonna be it.
So that's your
Yeah.
book. What's your album that you're taking?
I try to dive under. I try to avoid that.
No, we're here. We want to know.
A nice pair.
Oh, that's actually a good one. Yeah. Oh, I can. Oh, yeah. Now I see I can circumvent that. Okay, so Nice Pair was one of my a very important double album because it's the two first Pink Floyd records on one. That's a good choice. So good.
You helped him cheat the question.
Yeah.
I did not go star. I didn't. It was just girl math. I didn't help you. Take one album, take a double.
But if I'm just going for like pure joy, and it might actually be something like Arrival with ABBA, like something like that. Because just it has a lot more color than Dress to Kill, or you know, something like that, which I would grow tired of pretty quickly if I just heard that all over again, over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, fair. Wow.
So that was not a diss.
Two excellent choices. Three excellent choices. Finally, Valentina asks, what is left on your to-do list for world domination? Done a lot. What else is there?
I'm not. Well, this is the thing. I am relatively cerebral, but I'm not academic. I was never scholastic, and everything that I've learned has just been through absorbing. And honestly, I actually haven't really read that many books. I've seen most of them. A lot of my literature knowledge comes from having seen a lot of film and learning that way, and then I've sort of read the book. Almost always the other way around. And I think that there should really be a prerequisite when you're asked to lead the world or a world, that you should have like a very, very high IQ, and you should have very high academic. I would never put myself in charge of people that way. No, but I'm entertaining you. I'm not like I'm not leading you to, and I'm not taking responsibility of your total well-being. And I think that in order to do that, I think you should be qualified beyond whatever I could ever. That's why I really loved someone like Obama, because he was so clearly brighter, smarter in both IQ and EQ than most people on the planet as we know it. And that's what you need to. What? Yeah, well, and I'm not only talking about the presidency over there. I'm not talking about. I think that if you're leading a country, you need to be extremely smart, extremely knowledgeable, extremely qualified. So that's my wish.
So if you don't actually
world.
want world domination, is there any other bucket list on the ghost?
I'm not qualified for it. I'm not smart enough. I don't know. I'm too temperamental to. I would react in a poor way when it comes to decision making. So I wouldn't be
The good ones never want it. Yeah.
right. But it's true. I wouldn't be very good at it.
What about dominating?
Figuratively speaking.
But well, the thought has occurred to me. Yeah, well,
Almost there. I think you kind of kind of already done it.
well, and I'm grateful for you wanting to be part of my little sect here. But I think it's crucial that we coexist with not complete dependence.
Yeah.
That's how you should. That's how you should. You know.
Too late for us.
Because we're codependent, but it's there's a fine line there where I think it's important that I too do that with all my obsessions. Like, and I'm obsessive about the things that I like, but I'm cautiously trying to sort of like when I go deep diving into one certain thing, then I sort of get up and then I have to sort of start looking at something else, and that way I never really sort of get stuck. So touching grass, okay. I thought she said smoking grass.
Tobias, I know you're a busy man. Thank you so much for spending some time with us all today. We really appreciate it. Everyone is so excited. Anything else you want to say to everybody before you
Well, thank you all for being here, and thank you all for making my dreams come true. And I hope.
See you Saturday! Yes!
Yes.
Come on! See you Saturday!
See you all there.
Tobias Forge, everybody!